What is Jenkins? So Jenkins is a it is CI/CD tool. It's a CI/CD tool. Okay, so CI/CD is nothing but continuous integration and continuous deployment tool. Okay, so here we already discussed how this CI/CD is going to happen in the earlier sessions. So by using this CI/CD tool, what we can do is we can pull the code from our source code management tool, and we can work onto the code. Work onto the code means we can process the code, like we can compile the code, we can validate the test cases. So we'll do the code quality checks, we'll do the packaging. So these things we will do by using the CI/CD tool. Okay. So Jenkins is one of the popular CI/CD tool. Similarly, we have other CI/CD tools also, like we have Density and Bamboo. Okay, so like that, other CI/CD tools we have, but Jenkins is very popular nowadays. Okay, so most of the organizations are using Jenkins only for the deployments for CI/CD pipelines, for creating the CI/CD pipelines. So most of the organizations are using Jenkins only. Okay, so here with the Jenkins we have the advantages, like Jenkins is rich in plugins, and Jenkins has a very good community support. Okay, so Jenkins is a open source, like that. We have many advantages with the Jenkins. Okay, Jenkins has hundreds of plugins. So due to these plugins, right? So if you want to integrate our CI/CD tool with any third-party tools, we can easily integrate. Okay, so that flexibility it is providing. Okay, so now, so here coming to the Jenkins, so it is a CI/CD tool, right? So what this Jenkins has to do? So in the previous sessions, we discussed about SCM tool. What the SCM tool is doing? Like Git. Git is the SCM tool, right? What the Git is doing? So through the GitHub, we are maintaining the different versions of the code from the development team. Okay, so means in our remote repository, the code will be ready. Okay, so the code from our developers will be available in the remote repository. So once the code is available, then the Jenkins will pull the code. Okay, so Jenkins will pull the code, and it will try to process the code. It will try to compile the code. Okay, so Jenkins is like a build tool. Jenkins is a build tool. Build tool. Okay, so it will perform the build operation. So build operation like so it will trigger the it will trigger the compilation. Okay, and it will trigger the testing, it will trigger the code quality checks, it will trigger the packaging. Okay, so all these operations will be performed by the Jenkins. So to perform these operations, Jenkins will pull the code from our SCM repository. Okay, Jenkins will pull the code from our SCM repository, and it will trigger the compilation, and it will trigger the testing. Okay, so it will trigger the testing, so etc. Whatever the operations we have in the build phase, right? All the operations will be triggered by the Jenkins. So but here Jenkins cannot perform any activity by its own. Okay, so to perform the compilation, to perform the testing, to do the quality checks, to do the packaging, so Jenkins always take the help of Jenkins will take the help of build automation tool, build automation tool like Maven. Okay, so it will take the help of build automation tool like Maven to to compile the code, to validate the test cases, and to validate the test cases and to package the code. Okay, so Jenkins will take the help of build automation tool to perform, compile, okay, packaging. So these operations, compilation, packaging, testing, to perform these operations. So Jenkins will take the help of the third-party tools like Maven. What is a Maven? Maven is a build automation tool. By using the Maven, we can build the Java projects. Okay, so we can build the Java project by using the Maven. So that is what the Jenkins is going to do. Okay, so now, so if we want to work on the Jenkins, what we have to do? If we want to work on the Jenkins, we need the source code. If the source code is readily available, then only the Jenkins will proceed to perform the other activities. Okay, so now, so here comes to this. So here if you see, so with the we already discussed this is the CI/CD tool, right? So what is the full form of CI/CD? CI/CD full form is continuous integration and continuous deployment. Okay, so what is a continuous integration? So we already discussed these things in the earlier session. Okay, so continuous integration is the process of automating the build phase. So build phase include so compilation, testing, packaging. Okay, so the automation of the build phase is nothing but the continuous integration. Okay, so continuous integration is the process of automating the building, testing of the code each time if one of the dev team member commits the changes to the version control. Means, so whenever there is a new push happen to the version control system like a GitHub. Okay, so whenever there is a code change happen to the version control system, whenever we got the new commit into the version control system, so immediately what this Jenkins has to do, Jenkins has to identify the change. Okay, so Jenkins has to identify the change and it has to trigger the build. So trigger the build means it is going to compile the code, it will test the code, it will package the code. Okay, so this process we are calling as the continuous integration. So why we are calling this is a continuous integration? This is the continuous process. Okay, so whenever there is a code change happen, okay, so whenever there is a code change happen, so this is like a continuous process. Okay, this is like a continuous process. So that is the reason why we are calling as a continuous integration. Okay, continuous integration is the continuous process of compilation of the code, testing of the code, and packaging of the code. So that process we are calling as the continuous integration. So here, so these are the different other tools we have. CA, and that is a continuous integration tools like Bamboo, TeamCity, Jenkins. Okay, and if you see, so this Jenkins is rich in plugins. So we have hundreds of plugins with the Jenkins. Okay, so we have hundreds of plugins with the Jenkins. So uh, due to this plugins, so we can easily integrate our third party tools. Okay, and while working with the Jenkins, we can create different types of projects. What are the different types of projects we can create with the Jenkins? So with the Jenkins, so we can create different types of projects like a freestyle project, okay, and we can create a pipeline project, okay, and we can create a Maven project, and here we also create like multi-branch pipeline project, multi-branch pipeline project, multi-branch pipeline project. Okay, and then so we can create folder project, and we can create a GitHub project. Okay, so these are the different types of projects we can create with the help of the Jenkins. So that is what you can see here. Okay, so freestyle project, multi-configuration project. Okay, so multi-branch pipeline project, folder project, pipeline project, GitHub organization project. Okay, so multi-configuration project also we can create. So multi-configuration project, multi-configuration project. Okay. So here, freestyle project means at any time, if you want to create a project, right? Simply we can go with the freestyle project. Okay. So in very simple steps, we can create the freestyle project. In very simple steps we can create the freestyle project. So here, so this is the central feature of Jenkins. This freestyle project is like a central feature of the Jenkins. So Jenkins will build our project. Okay. So by combining with our SCM tool or any other build systems in the case of the freestyle project. Similarly, we have pipeline project. Okay, so this pipeline project is suitable for creating the CI/CD pipelines. Okay, for creating the CI/CD pipelines, we can prefer the pipeline project. Okay, so while going with the pipeline project, right, here again we'll have different types. We can create a different types of pipeline projects, like we can create the pipeline project by using the code, as well as we can create the pipeline project by using the upstream and downstream jobs also. We'll discuss how can we create these pipeline projects. Okay, then here with the pipeline project, so with the freestyle project, right, so we cannot achieve some functionalities. Okay, so if there is a complex architecture in our project, okay, in some situations it is somewhat difficult to achieve the required architecture or required configuration with the freestyle project. In that situation, what we can do is we can follow the pipeline project. Okay. So similarly, we have Maven project. So in the Maven project, what is going to happen is, so we are going to use the Maven as the build automation tool. Okay. So no, if we create the Maven project, no need to define the build automation tool. So automatically the Jenkins will consider Maven as the build automation tool, and Jenkins will perform the required build operations with the help of the Maven. Okay. So similarly, we have multi-branch pipeline project. So if you remember, so with the SCM tool, right, like GitHub, so we can see different types of branches. We'll have master branch, we'll have feature branch, we'll have hotfix branch. Okay, we'll have release branch. Okay, so like that we'll have different types of branches with the SCM repository. Now, if we are going to take the source code from multiple branches, means I am going to take the code from my release branch as well as from my development branch, then in like that situations, what we can do is simply we can define the type of the project as the multi-branch project. Okay, multi-branch project. So this type of project also we can create with the help of the Jenkins. Then folder project. So this folder project is not like a project. So just we are going to create one folder. So inside this folder, we can group the similar things. Means let us consider I have 10 Java projects. I have 10 .NET projects. So all the 10 Java projects I can keep in one folder. All the 10 .NET projects I can keep in one folder, like that. So we can create the folder projects also. Okay, so folder is just grouping the similar things. To group the similar things, we are going to use the folder projects. So then we can create a GitHub project. So in the GitHub project, by default, our SCM tool will be from the GitHub, and the remaining operations as usual. Just we are going to take the source code from the GitHub only. Okay. So by default, the source code will be taken from the GitHub repo. Okay. Then we have multi-configuration project. So in some projects, we need a different configurations depending on the environment. Means in dev environment, we are going to use one type of configuration. In a QA environment, we are going to use other type of configuration. So like that, let us consider. Okay, so if that is the case, so what we can do is we can define the multi-configuration project, and we have to define the required configuration at environment level also. So this is another type of project we can create with the help of the Jenkins. Okay, so these are the different projects we can create with the Jenkins. And here now, so if we want to install the Jenkins, right? Here, so Jenkins installation. So always we are going to use a Ubuntu machine. Okay. So on top of the Ubuntu machine, we are going to install the Jenkins. So try to install the Jenkins. So for that, just search for download Jenkins. Download Jenkins. So Jenkins.io. This is the page we have to go. So go to Jenkins.io page. Here you can see. So for which means we are going to use Ubuntu Debian, right? So you can see Ubuntu Debian, Red Hat Enterprise, Fedora, Windows, on which platform we are trying to install our Jenkins, right? That platform we have to take. Okay. So here you can see download Jenkins 2.504.2 LTS. So always go with the LTS only. Okay, LTS only, long term support. This will be the stable version. So the this will be the 2.513 will be the latest version. Okay, so so don't go with the latest version. Just go with the stable version only. Okay, so under stable version you can see Ubuntu Debian. Ubuntu Debian. So click on the Ubuntu Debian. So here, so these are the things we have to so these steps we have to follow. Okay, so just execute this. We have to execute this, and once we execute this, we will be in a position to install the Jenkins. Okay, so just to copy this, we have to execute this for Jenkins installation. Okay, and for Jenkins, Java is the prerequisite. So so before installing Jenkins, what we have to do is we have to install the Java. So after installing the Java only, we can install our Jenkins. Okay. So for now, what we are going to do is we need one Ubuntu instance, right? So try to uh, launch one instance. So go to our GitHub. That is, go to our AWS account. So go to dashboard. You see to dashboard. And here, so for Jenkins, I use the new instance. I have Git instance, right? So I'm not going with the existing instance. I'm trying to launch the new instance for the Jenkins. So click on launch instance. So the new instances. So Jenkins 1 I'm giving, and so Ubuntu operating system is selected. And then select T2 micro, which is a free tail eligible. I already have key pair, right? I'm going to use the existing key pair only. So what is the key pair here? 090525, right? The key pair is same, right? 090525. Yeah. Same key pair I'm using. I'm not going to create any new key pair. So that's it. Try to launch the instance. Launch instance. Okay, now go to the instances. Refresh this. Now Jenkins is available here. Try to connect it to the Jenkins. Okay. So login as root. Yes. Okay. So now before installation, we have to update the machine, right? Just update the machine. Sudo apt-get update. Okay. Now, so follow these commands, whatever the instructions we have, right? So these things we have to follow. Okay. Mm. Mm. So we need a Java also, right? Mm. Update the Debian. There are multiple Java implementations which you can use OpenJDK. Okay, so I'm pinging this. Go through this page also. With the help of this page only, we can install the Jenkins. But I'm not seeing Java here. I think recently there is change. Mm, let's follow this. We'll try what is going to happen. So try to install Jenkins. So my doubt is here why Java not included earlier script, right? They are including Java while installing the Jenkins, but I think recently there is some change here. Let's try whether it will success or not. Okay, check whether Jenkins installed or not. Jenkins hyphen version and valid Java. Yeah, that is a problem here. Java is not there. Okay, so now check Java hyphen version. Yeah, Java is not there, right? We need Java. So without Java, we cannot install Jenkins. In the earlier case, right, what is happening is in this script itself, they are adding the steps to uh, install the Java. But I think there is some change in the steps here. What we have to do, installation of Java. So what try to Java, check this, try to install this. So before installation of this Jenkins, we'll try this one. So this is the command message. So we have to execute this command before installation of the Jenkins. Just we are trying to install the Java because Java is the prerequisite for Jenkins. On top of the Java only Jenkins will work. So in your case, what you have to do is first install Java, then only try to install the Jenkins. Okay. So now check Java version. Yeah, OpenJDK 21.07 is installed now. Okay. So we have this is the OpenJDK 21.0.7. This is the Java we have. Okay. So now I will try to install Jenkins, right? Let me check the Jenkins version. Yeah, this is the Jenkins version. Okay, so now Jenkins is running. So here, what we have to do. So Jenkins, check the status of the Jenkins. We installed Jenkins. So just to check whether Jenkins is running or not. Okay. So to check the status of the package, right? We'll use system ctl status Jenkins. Okay. So this is the version of the Jenkins we are using. Jenkins version 2.504.2. Okay. Now check the status of the Jenkins, whether Jenkins is running or not. Okay. System status Jenkins. Active failed to start Jenkins. Okay, try to start the Jenkins. System ctl start Jenkins. I think recently script got changed. So that is the reason why we're facing this. Now I can check status. Now active. Okay, Jenkins is active. Once the Jenkins is active, right? Now what we can do is so we can connect to the Jenkins. So Jenkins, with the Jenkins, right? So no need to work on the CLI. Jenkins is rich in UI. So just we can work on the UI. Okay. So on the Jenkins UI, we can easily work. So Jenkins UI is very flexible compared to CLI. Okay. So well, now what we did here, so we started, right? So just check this. Dictionary. So systemctl status Jenkins, it failed. After this, we used systemctl start Jenkins. This is the command we used. Okay. After this, what we did, we executed. Again, we checked the status. Now, Jenkins is up and running. After doing this, Jenkins is up and running. Okay, so these steps we have to follow. Okay, so in your case, first of all, install OpenJDK and then install Jenkins, then start the Jenkins. After that, only check the status of the Jenkins. Okay, so now our Jenkins is up and running, and here you can see the status, right? Status Jenkins active. So you have to see this. You have to see this active. Okay, running. If the Jenkins is in running state, so now what we can do is we can connect it to our Jenkins UI. So to connect it to the Jenkins UI, so what we have to do is so we need Jenkins port. Okay, so how to connect to the Jenkins UI? Through the web browser. Okay, we are going to connect to the Jenkins UI through the web browser only. Okay, so if you want to connect to any application through the web browser, what we have to do? So we have to use IPs. Okay, so server IP. Okay, so colon port, on which port our application is running, on which port our Jenkins is running. Now we need Jenkins port. Okay, so the default Jenkins port is default Jenkins support is, so check the default Jenkins port. Here, check whether they have given anything here. Nothing they have given, right? Start Jenkins. Okay. So system should enable Jenkins. Start Jenkins. We did these things and okay. Okay. Yeah, this is the default port. 8080 is the default port. Okay, so browse to localhost colon 8080. Localhost is nothing but our IP address. Okay, so server IP address. So the default port of the Jenkins is 8080. Okay, so we can connect to the Jenkins on 8080 port. Okay, so try to connect to the Jenkins on 8080 port. So for this, what we have to do is, so here, go to our instance. We need public IP address always. We have to use public IP address. So through the internet, we are trying to access, right? Always we have to use public IP address. Okay. So public IP address of our server colon 8080. So try to access our Jenkins. Check whether we can access or not. So mostly there will be issue. What is the issue? Tell me. What is the issue here? 8080 report we have to open, right? We have to open 8080. Okay, so for this, I have to go to the security groups. Okay, so go to the security groups and edit inbound rules and add rule. So these things we already discussed, right? So add rule, I'm adding all traffic. So all traffic here IPv4 anywhere and save rules. Okay. Now try to access Jenkins here. You see, now we are able to access the Jenkins. So what it is telling? Unlock Jenkins. Okay, it is telling to unlock the Jenkins. So from where we have to unlock? So to unlock the Jenkins, we have to provide the admin password, Jenkins admin password. So we will get the Jenkins admin password for the initial, okay, for the first time from this location. Okay, so the Jenkins admin password will be available. Okay, so Jenkins admin password will be available at this location. So, okay, so just go to our server and get the password. So cat. So where lib Jenkins secrets initial admin password. So cat this, you'll get the password. This is the password. Use this password. Okay. So copy the password here, and here you can see continue option. Continue. You see, so now we are trying to log in into Jenkins. Okay, we installed Jenkins and we are trying to log in into Jenkins for the first time. So for the first time, Jenkins will ask the plugins. So which plugins we need. Okay, so as of now, go with the install suggested plugins. First option. Click on this. Okay, so then what the Jenkins will do is the Jenkins will start installing the plugins. So some suggested plugins will be there. So Jenkins will start installing these suggested plugins. Okay, so it is installing the plugins. So it will take some time, couple of minutes it will take, because so Jenkins is going to install many plugins here. So you can see, so pipeline plugin, Git plugin, LDAP plugin, email extension plugin. Okay, so workspace cleanup plugin and plugin. So like that, you can see many plugins. So Jenkins will try to install all these plugins. So once the plugin installation completed, we have to set the password, and once we set the password, we can access our Jenkins UI. So it will take some time. So it will take some time. Mm. Okay, so now we have to set the admin username and password. So here, this admin username and password you have to use from the next time. So just you have to remember this. If you lose this, so you cannot again log in. Okay, so we have to give admin username and password and confirm the password. Okay, so just I'm giving some email ID, save and continue, save and finish. Start using Jenkins. So the admin username password, whatever we have given, right? So from the next time onwards, we have to use the same username and password. Okay. So here, this is how the Jenkins UI looks like. Okay. So we can see, welcome to Jenkins, some body here. So as of now, we don't have any projects. Okay, as of now, we don't have any projects. So that is the reason why we are not seeing anything here. So if we have any projects, all the project summary will be available. Okay, so project summary means, so what are the different projects we have? So what is the status of the particular project? Means whether the project is successfully built or project got failed. Okay, so how many builds happened for that particular project? What is the latest successful build? What is the latest failure build? So what is the time duration it has taken? So all this information will be available on this particular body if we have projects. Okay, as of now we don't have projects, so it is not showing anything here. Okay, now so here on the left side you can see new item. So what this new item represent is, a new item represent, if we want to create a new project, we can use the new item option. And build history, so to check the history of the builds, we can use build history, manage Jenkins. So to do any configuration